Third time is a charm with doing certification. This is the third time that this person has sent the same shear back for the certification for the ISSA. This is number 528. And you may want to do like I did, is I went to YouTube and I watched this time before and the one before that to see the progression so I know what to compare it to. So what I'm looking for now is to see if they will cut wet tissue and if they'll cut hair crisply. So I've got my wet tissue here, I've got my hair, I've got the shears, and I've got great hopes these are going to pass. And he sent envelopes to have them sent back to him, so after he passes. So let's take a look at these. I'm not doing any adjusting. I use the really cheap, thin Dollar Tree toilet tissue and squirt it with some water. Pulling my thumb out, I'm going to try it this way. No, don't tell me. Let's try it this way. Oh, man. Not again. Look at that. Did he test him himself before he sent him to me? Does it cut dry? Cuts dry, but can you hear it? It sounds a little crunchy, but it's just, I mean, let me try it with putting some pressure on it. Look, even if I put side pressure, it's not cutting. Oh, man. Crap. Excuse me. I don't use that kind of language. Be sure you watch all the way to the end so you can see what 9 things that were corrected that helped this person pass the next time. Last time it was his adjustment. Adjust it tight. Let's just see. I'm going to give it a good wiggle. Always suspect the screw. You see how it loosened up after I wiggled it? Look at that. Look at that. It wasn't tight enough. I'm going to give it 1, 2 clicks, maybe a third one. Wiggle it again. Now let's see if it cuts wet. No. It's not cutting. You know, even tightening the screw, it's not cutting. Let's see what it's doing on hair. Here's a little hair. It's cutting the hair, but it's definitely pushing. You can see it's pushing the hair. Are they sharp? It feels sharp to here. What am I seeing? Let's see if I can see something here. Well, we can see that problem with the rod line right here, even without the magnifier. I'll let you see what I'm looking at. It's the noise in the background, once again, is the dog. I don't know what grit stone he's using, but I want you to see how coarse this is. You see that rod line? That's just not right. cotton ball is real helpful. I'm going to run this down, and I can feel roughness. It's just not a smooth edge. I don't know if you can see the little fibers catching as I run it down. But it's definitely rough as I run it down the edge. I'm really sad. I think we need to do a video chat. Let me watch and see what you're doing. I will send back a new shear. Not this one, because we've gone over it so many times. I'm going to send back a new shear that I'm going to damage right now. Let you see how I'm damaging it. And then we will try again. Because we're going to make this work. You know, if you could do a one-day hands-on training with me, that would be great. But if not, maybe we can get you kind of, if I can just watch what you're doing, we can get it going. And so I'm hoping to have part 4 with me with big smiles at the end, but there's no smiles on this one. So I have a new shear here, and I'm going to go ahead and damage this so you can see exactly what I'm doing to it. I want you to see that it does cut when it's new. See, that's how it should cut. Thumbs out, least pressure possible, and just cuts beautifully. And it's quiet. That's the way it should be. I'm going to put a few nicks on it. Ding, 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 ding. Not huge nicks, but at least it's crunchy now. It's crunchy. And I'm going to just dull this out a little bit. Nothing major. And just note that the shears from the factory have a little micro bevel, and I would like you to reconvex them and get that little micro bevel out. And have them quiet again, and have them cut wet tissue. Let's see how they cut now that I've damaged them. See, they cut dry. See, even damaged, these cut better than the ones that were sent back to me. So, let's see. Let's see what happens. I want the nicks gone. I want them convexed. I want them quiet, and I want them to cut wet, thin toilet tissue. And you see the adjustment on the screw? I'm doing it down about 4 clicks, so it's loose. Let's see what you do. We found 9 little things that all added up made a big, huge difference in the sharpening, so that after 2 more attempts, both of them passed. So we're sure that he knows what he's doing now. So let's go through the 9 things that he changed in his sharpening from what he was doing before. Number 1, he was using a Chinese stone instead of a Japanese stone. So we changed to a good Japanese stone. Actually a lower grit, but it was so much better quality that made a huge difference in his ride line, and he had a nice, clean, shiny ride line. Number 2, we used the Sharpie, not just inside on the ride line, but we put the Sharpie on the outside, and that way he was able to see very quickly and easily whether he had a burr all the way down. Speeded up his time, and he didn't miss any areas on the blade that didn't have a burr. Number 3, he was polishing before he removed the burr, and that made a big difference. That means it was still a burr left on the outside. Number 4, the final burr removal on the stone, he was doing several strokes up and down with a lot of pressure, and we changed that to just one quick snap and snap the burr off. Number 5, after the sharpening, We checked to see if there was any burr left behind. That was the real key thing. There was burr left behind, and that creates a crunch and more nicks and everything afterwards. So we checked with a cotton ball to see if it grabbed anything along the edge, and if it did, we took that off with a 3000 grit nail buffer. Number 6, we did a lot of work on being really sure that adjustment was set correctly. Check, recheck, recheck, did a wiggle, check, and that was number 6. That was a key player in making the shears cut better. Number 7, when he placed the shears in the clamp, we did more of a tilt down, so that rather than the blade being perpendicular straight across the plate, the flat hung plate, it was now kind of at an angle, and that allowed the burr to come up on the tip a little bit faster and a little bit better. Number 8, we changed the polishing plate. He had a really nice polishing piece of felt that he had made from something he had bought at Hobby Lobby, and I was kind of impressed with it, but it did not remove the residual burr that was left behind. And when we went to a little bit softer, thicker felt pad, it seemed to work better. It wasn't in the shine. The shine didn't improve, but what improved was it removed any residual burr, and that was the thing we were fighting through this whole issue. And number 9, when he was polishing at the final polish to get all the way to the edge, he was backing off like I instruct people to do, but he was backing off too much. And when we used a mechanical spacing type of thing so that he could roll that shear almost to the edge but not over the edge, this corrected some of that last little burr that was left behind. When it was through, because of all these things, the shears cut better, they cut through wet tissue, they were quieter, they were just, I won't say perfect, but they were passing, and I would say with a B. The only thing I saw left afterwards was maybe he could have rounded off the tip a little bit. Shine could always have been a little bit better, but that's cosmetic. The tip wasn't so bad that I don't think any customer would have complained. And they would have definitely passed if I had been a hairstylist and he'd given them back to me, and especially the way they cut before and the way they cut afterwards, I would have been very happy and be delighted to pay him $30. So I think he's off and running, and with these little corrections, which I'm hoping 1 or 2 of those or something that you can incorporate in your sharpening will make your sharpening better too. So these certifications are more than just being certified. They are to help you get a little bit better and to have your work critiqued and seeing what things could be changed. And in this case, it wasn't like one big thing. It was a lot of little things. But primarily it was all the procedures that had to do with the burr. You have to create a burr, make sure you have a burr all the way down, and you have to remove the burr. And it's always, we can call sharpening chasing the burr. So make sure you subscribe. I may have mentioned that before, and like it. And I'm Bonnie Megowan. If you want to do the certification, want to know more about ISSA, if you want to know more about learning to sharpen or any of these other things, there should be all the links down below. And I appreciate you watching. if you want to be certified with the ISSA, I've got a lot of videos and you'll see a lot of certifications. 50% of the people pass, right, Misty? Yeah, and this one did not pass. Yeah, I know. No, it's sad. I'm not smiling or laughing. It's just, so I'm going to send him a brand new one that I messed up so that he's not continuously going after the other one. So this is going back today.